Hi everyone, welcome back to my garden. I am Cynthia. I know it's been a while in Zone 10A in Orlando, Florida. I think my last official garden tour was April. I know I did one in May, but it was just to music, so I don't really feel like that one counted, and it was a quick one. I've had a lot of things going on in my personal life, so I haven't been able to dedicate as much time to the garden, but I also, in all, reality, take usually the summer off and just let the garden survive because it is so hot outside. So I don't really come out as much as usual. I went out of town at the end of May, came back mid-June, and the weeds took over. I lost some plants. It was kind of like a dry start to the season. Last couple of weeks it's been raining a lot. So I lost two roses, Princess Anne and Desdemona, and I lost a butterfly bush. I think the butterfly bush, though, was because the zinnias were growing so tall and it kind of blocked the sun from it. So maybe it's not dead. We'll see. I haven't taken it out yet. What else? Do have some grace for me, please, because again, I haven't been out in the garden. This is a time where I usually rest. I know up north you guys do that in the winter. I tend to do it during the summer. I do need to start some seeds this weekend because our main growing season is like fall through spring. So I do need to start some seeds this weekend, hopefully. I already ordered my plugs for spring, my cool season annuals. And let's see what else. You're going to see weeds. You're going to see black spot. You're going to see things that are struggling, but you are also going to see plants that are doing really well. So this is actually a good time for us in Central Florida to analyze our plants and see which ones can thrive in our heat and which ones don't. And for me, I just enjoy the ones that do, and the ones that don't, I just let them rest. And once September comes around, for my roses especially, I will cut them back by a third. I will defoliate, and we'll just start over. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna get started on this side. I feel like this area is the one that looks the best right now in my garden. I have another little patch over there on the other side that looks good, but we're gonna get started over here. Right now, you're gonna see my cassia tree. This will start blooming. I was looking back at videos and I think it was like around October, November is when it'll start blooming. It has these little yellow flowers. They're beautiful. I love it, just fills up with yellow flowers, so it looks beautiful. Hopefully that'll get started soon. I do see some yellow leaves, but that could be from either too much water or not enough water, but I'm guessing maybe too much water because we've gotten like around, I would say probably like a good 8 inches of rain in the last week and a half or so. This is curcuma. I believe it's in the ginger family. It's also known as like a tropical tulip to us. Those are a little more spent. This white one took some like a little longer to get started. I have oxalis. I know a lot of you grow this one as an indoor plant. It does really well for us out here. It has these little purple blooms. These are spent. Maybe they're starting. Actually, they're starting. So but you can definitely grow that one indoors up north. Down here, I know a lot of people that grow them outside or inside, so it's just preference. And then back here, I have sun hostas. Right here. This is a camellia. Can't remember the name of it, but it's a dwarf, so that's why it's there because or else they get huge and I don't have the space for it. That was I can't remember what it was, but obviously it's not doing well. This is a sun patient. I have some not delphinium. Is it delphinium? Nope, that's definitely not delphinium. And I forgot the name of it, but I will. Dianthus. Sorry, I was thinking Dianthus. I know it started with a D. I can't remember what it was, but that's Dianthus. This is my perfect storm Somerific hibiscus. This little guy has taken forever. I actually thought it was dead, but it's full of buds, so I'm very happy that it's not. It's not getting as much sun here because of the cassia, so I think maybe that's why it's taken forever. I have two Suncredible sunflowers. So I have one here. These are from Proven Winners. And one here. It has done so well this year. I bought some last year and it wasn't doing as well. These two little guys are very, very happy. I also have a lantana here. This one is called, I believe it's a mango something. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's just like a generic variety. Then I have euphorbia growing in between my Abraham Darby rose, which has it's done for a while. It was blooming really beautifully. couple of weeks ago. And then we have my Tibucina grandifolia. I saw this plant for the first time in Magic Kingdom and I fell in love with it. And when I first started my Instagram channel, there was a gardener in South Florida. Her name is Mia, and she gave me a small little cutting, and it has taken 3 years for it to grow like this. But I love this plant. It's so beautiful. And as like I was talking earlier, this one does really well in our summers. So it's always nice to have some plants that do well here. I don't know if you could see the little strings. That's porterweed. It's in the back. And then the other one right here, that's fire spike. It's not blooming right now, but that one has purple blooms. Here's another fire spike. That one has red blooms. Oh, you can see me. Sorry, you can see my glare. The hummingbirds love this plant. It does so well over here too. All right, so then we have my celestial night rose. It's starting to wake up. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get out of the video here. This is Senorita Rosalita Cleome by Prima Winners. Also does really well here. So love that one. And then we have a coleus. It's also Prima Winners, but I don't remember the exact name in the back. I also have a salvia growing in there somewhere, but it's shaded. This is the pop, I think it's pop cherry fashion salvia. I have that one. I have 3 of these in the garden, so I'll show you another one that's doing better. All right, so then we're going to continue this way. I have some Superbina that is not doing too great. It's waking up though. It's just, it kind of takes some time off during the summer sometimes, but I just leave it in. If it can survive the rain and the heat, it stays. If it doesn't, I take it out, which I have taken some out. This is Gara. And then I have, gosh, is that called ageratum? I don't know how to say that. Ageratum, something like that. I'll put the name on the screen. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And then my black-eyed Susan. If you live in Central Florida and you want a plant that does excellent here in the summer, highly recommend. Black-eyed Susan and red spike. These two do so well. Oh my goodness. Love this plant. You know it's summer here when the black-eyed Susan starts blooming. And then I have a Candy Crush Sumerific hibiscus here. This one starts really early. So this one's, you can see by the foliage, it's looking a little rough, but the blooms are still gorgeous. And then I kind of have a repeat from what I have on that side over here. Another black-eyed Susan, Megara, and this is the pop fashion cherry. Or is it fashion cherry? I can't remember if it's pop or just fashion cherry. I'll have to look. But the bees love it. Absolutely love it. And then I have a Gerbera daisy here. I believe this one's called Sweet Memories. I have it in a pot because it doesn't like wet feet. Oh my goodness, these are just loving everything today. My Gallardia, I think it's called. I believe this one's Mango Popsicle. Maybe. I don't have the tag, but it looks like it could be. Then I have a huge Superbina here as well. This one is the Superbina. Wow, you can tell I haven't been in the garden in a couple months. I'm forgetting all the names. I'll have to go and look this one up again. This is not sparkling amethyst because that's the purple one. What is this one? I can't remember. I'll find the name and I'll put it on the screen for you though. But this one actually does a lot better than the purple one, which is a sparkling amethyst. Then I have some not dahlias, zinnias, but I'm going to take these out soon. I think these are the ones that are looking the best in this area. These look horrendous. This is, I don't even think you can see all the spots. Oy. All you see is the dried up leaves. It looks really bad. So I'm kind of letting them stay here just because I want to save the seeds, to be honest with you. That's why. But I don't know how much longer I can take looking at them like this. Oh, I have some seeds right here. See? So this is a spent bloom. And for those of you that are growing zinnias for the first time, every petal is a seed. So once the zinnia is dried up like this, you pull the petal, there's a seed. You just take that little part off, you keep this little arrowhead, and that's the seed. So you save those for next year. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm just going to sprinkle it back in here. Maybe it'll grow back because Maybe during fall it'll come back. Um, so that's my butterfly bush that I was telling you guys about. How sad. I don't know if it's dead though. I have to come back and cut it back and see if there's any green in there, and maybe it'll come back. But I think it's because all these zinnias were blocking the sun. Oh my goodness. I keep on getting in the camera. Okay, and this is HS date. It doesn't look like it normally does during the summer, but once the temperatures start cooling off, it looks more like the pictures. I have salvia back here, and I have my 14 rose back there. Over here, I forgot to mention the vine that's growing right here. That's jasmine. And I wanted to mention also, I have a fall project coming up from this stick all the way to like by the gate, like right there. I'm gonna expand the garden because I have a bistro that I want to add like around this area, and I'm gonna plant a lot of my roses that I have in pots in this area. I hand water everything, and I have about 35 maybe roses in pots, and it just takes a long time to water everything. So I'm gonna try to plant as many roses as I can in the ground, so I don't have to worry about watering so much. This is a dombeya, I believe it's called, pink cloud. It's called like a tropical hydrangea. I haven't seen the blooms yet. This is new in my garden, but I'm hoping to plant it. It's like a small tree. I bought a dwarf one because I didn't want one that grew too big because they can grow up to 22 feet, and I don't have the space for that. So hopefully it's true and it'll stay on the smaller side. I'll put a picture on the screen so you guys can see what the blooms will eventually look like. My roses are surviving. They were doing really well, and then it started raining a lot, so now I'm starting to see black spot. This one back here, which is actually on the side of the fence, is Cathedral Bells. This one is not looking so bad. And then I have Moonlight in Paris, Pretty Lady Rose, Boscobel. That one is Lady Emma Hamilton, and I think I've lost that one. She does not like the heat. Let's just leave it at that. I've had her for like 4 years, and she pretty much did nothing. So this one is Carding Mill, Bolero. Again, I've had this one for about 4 years, and I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. I give my roses about 4 years. And if they don't perform the way they should or they don't grow the way they should, then they're out. Because I honestly don't have the space and I could be growing other roses that do a lot better for us here. This is Matchless Mother, and then I have two Princess Alexandra of Kent's. That one and that one. Those two are on my possibly chopping block list for next year. I'm keeping an eye on them, but I've had those since 2020 and they don't, I don't know, they don't do as great. This one is L. I have my plumeria. I have three plumerias. I think they're all done blooming. Maybe I have one blooming. Let's see. Miyabi. Miyabi, this is her first year in Florida. And as you can see, she's struggling a bit. But it's okay. It happens to them. I think it's like shock from all the heat and the humidity. These roses, you have to remember, in Florida do not get a break at night. A lot of places it gets really hot during the day, but at night it cools off. We don't. It is extremely humid at night, so I feel like they don't even get a chance to breathe during the summer. These are, I think they're golden hour zinnias. It's a mix, so it's this one and those are both golden hour zinnias from Floret Flower. And then in there somewhere is Bliss Parfuma. So love these zinnias. They have done really, really well for me. They're, I think I'm going to let them just go to seed. And because of the rain, they've gotten a little damaged. Then I have some marigolds down here. I don't grow a lot of food, mostly herbs, especially in the summer. I have mazel basil here. It's just marigolds. And then oregano here. And I have a rosemary. Oh, rosemary. Little rosemary. I keep on picking at it, so I don't think I'm letting it grow. I use rosemary a lot. All right, so that's this area. And then let's go to the other side. Okay, so now we're on the side of the house, and this is a dwarf power puff. I think it's power puff bush. I have to check the name, but I think it is. The bees, absolutely, the honeybees especially, love this plant. It is a Honeybee Dream. I don't know if you can hear them. Can you guys hear them? I don't know if you can hear them buzzing. They're so cute. I love them. I could stay here all day and just listen to them and watch them. I love the blooms too. I think they're getting a little agitated with me. So let me back up and show you what I have over here. I have a Cassandra plant right here. Does very well in the summer for us. Nice orange blooms. Then I have a couple of coleuses from Proven Winners. I'll see if I can find the names for this one, and then I have a couple of these also. This is a smaller one. Then I have a bigger one over here, and I have a grass here. It's called Everillo. I have the tag over here. Let me just show you guys. There's a tag. It does pretty well here. Oh, found another little bee. Do you guys see? Okay, that's enough with the bees. Let me turn around. Okay, and then we have, these are new. I'm trying these out. These are called, I have a tag over here too. I'm so proud of myself when I say the tags. Suntory Soiree Kawaii Lavender, I believe they're called. Sorry, my hands are all dirty. But they're very small blooms compared to the normal Vincas. But I heard they're very heat tolerant, which the other ones are too. But I'm just going to give these a try and see how they do. I have two, one over here, one over here. This is another coral honeysuckle. Oh, I forgot to mention, which I don't know if any of you remember, but we used to have a massive sky vine right here growing, and it took up all these panels, and we had to take it out because it was growing over the house into our gutters. Don't know what that's called, but that area of the house, it was growing in there, and it was taking over my coral honeysuckle, this one over here. And as you can see, it pretty much was damaging it. I think it was slowly killing it off. So we took that one out, and I'd rather have the coral honeysuckle that's native here. And we bought a little one right there. It'll grow up and around this one. I'd rather have that there. And then we continue. I have sprinkled Coleus viburnum. It's a dwarf viburnum. There, again, Coleus viburnum, Coleus. And then I have some more Coleus here. I have a little Cassandra growing here. It's not doing too well compared to the other one. And then, oh, let me mention also, let me back it up a little bit. There is no mulch here. As you can see, there's some mulch here. There's none here because all the water, we've had lots of rain the past couple, week or so, probably 2 weeks. And this happens every year. So this is why it's like, okay, we need to make a decision. The mulch from all the way over there and all the water runs out this way and behind me out the fence. But then the mulch gets washed off and we end up with this every summer. So I'm thinking I may want to just either put gravel or do we add more mulch? I don't know. So it's a decision we have to make. It is very squishy. It stays very moist. It's very wet. So the plants that are here have to survive all that, first of all. And then second of all, do we spend more money every year on mulch, even though we know it's going to get washed away, or should we just do gravel? So I don't know. But if I do gravel, should I do gravel around all the stepping stones? I don't want to do gravel as mulch. That's for sure. That's not a thing. So I would either just be in the walkway and then we mulch where the plants are. But I don't know. So that's something we have to think about. But I hope that we can make a decision this year. So next year I don't have to put up with all that nasty looking moist. I don't know. I don't like the way the walkway looks like that during the summer. All right, so I have a little pot here. This is from the plumeria. Coleus, as you can see, I love coleus during the summer. Coleus, and we have a yarrow here that I need to deadhead. And then we have a plumeria over here that poor thing is dying. I mean, it's literally dying to get out of this pot. That pot is extremely small and it has grown so much. So I need to take that out and put it in a bigger pot. I have queen bee nectarine. Is this Augustaki? Let me see the label. Yeah, it is Augustaki. Meant to be queen nectarine Augustaki. It looked like that in the picture a couple weeks ago, but with the rain, it's kind of dwindled down a bit, and it also has some spent blooms, so it doesn't look as pretty right now, but it did in one moment. These are just sun patients. I like them and I don't like them because as the bloom gets older, I don't like that whiteness around. So those won't probably stay for too long. I'll probably end up switching that out, which anyways, I will, because I will start growing my plugs pretty soon. I will start planting them, my ranunculus, all that stuff in the next couple months. So all this stuff will get replaced. This is my crepe myrtle. It has purple blooms. Here's some coming out. And speaking of plugs, I just want to mention to all my Central Florida people, you may want to put your orders in now so you can get the plugs delivered soon, because come like November, December for me, I will start planting them. I get some from a friend of mine, but if any of you are interested, I also ordered some for the first time this year from Farmer Bailey. I'll put his link up in the description box. This is Fashion Cherry Salvia. This is the salvia that I was talking to you guys about that I have over there in that garden. This one looks a lot better because it has a lot more space and it receives a lot more sun. So this is another good one for to grow during the summer. And then behind that one is Lady of Shalott, which is pretty much done blooming. Most of my roses don't bloom too much during August. I would say July and August. They kind of go semi-dormant. This one is Silas Marner. Here's a little spent bloom. They also have thrip damage. Keep in mind, again, I don't spray. So I don't spray. I do have thrip damage, black spot during the summer. I just kind of let it do its thing. I do debud when I see that they have a lot of thrips. So let me, for example, this one I'm going to come and I'm going to take out because that's just thrip damage. And I don't want to leave it there. So I'm going to come, and what I do is I take the bud off, put it in a Ziploc bag, seal the Ziploc bag, and throw the bag out because I don't want them coming out and then just going to another rose. I have April Love back here. That's April Love. I don't know if you could see it with all the sun. I think I'm taking too long, and the sun is causing way too much glare. This is crepe myrtle, but this is a dwarf variety called raspberry Bellini, or I'm sorry, Bellini raspberry. This one's gonna get, I think that's probably max 3 to 4 feet is what it said. So I love that size because a lot of these get really big and I don't have the space for them. But I love crepe myrtles during the summer because this is what they do all summer. They just love the heat, so love it. This is Princess Charlene de Monaco, Mrs. Bierkant, which as you can see is probably the healthiest rose in my garden right now. And it doesn't require a lot of fertilizer either. So it does really, really well. If I would have known it would perform this well, I probably, in all honesty, would have just planted the whole row of Mrs. Bierkant because it does so well. This is Senorita Blanca Cleome from Proven Winners as well. I know you're probably all wondering, oh my goodness, she has so many weeds back there. Yes, yes, I do. I have lots of weeds back here, and I've been cleaning, believe it or not, them all out slowly but surely. I come for a little bit, as much as I can, just because of the heat and everything. But my other problem is I have mint growing from the other side of the fence from a neighbor, and it is taking over. And if any of you know about mint, you do not grow mint in the ground. Mint gets grown in a pot because it will take over. So I'm having a really hard time controlling that. Also, since I have roses back here, it's very hard for me to get into certain areas because of the thorns. And this April Love, beautiful blooms, but in case any of you are wondering, it is super thorny. Lots of thorns, which makes it very hard for me to get back there and weed. So once I cut these back in January, that's when I'll. Hi everyone. So apparently yesterday I thought I was filming and the battery ran out and I was talking to myself. So I believe we left off here and I was talking to you guys about how I couldn't get back against the fence because of all the roses. So once I cut them back in January, I will be able to get back there and weed a lot better. All right, I can't remember if I mentioned the crepe myrtle, but I think I did. I think we were around this area. We were talking about Mrs. Bierkant and the Cleome. So I'm gonna pick up right here with this area. Over here I have against the back wall, I have the Queen's Wreath vine. It has these purple blooms, sorry, and that they're a bit spent already. I don't even think it has any left, but it does really well in the summer. It blooms beautifully, but it is a pretty big vine, so I just have to I would consider it a high maintenance vine. I have to come back and cut it back about once a month, and it could just be because it's a smaller area. If I had it above the pergola, it probably would do a lot better and it would grow. It would have more space, so I wouldn't have to cut it back as much. On this side of the arch, I have Bathsheba, which is not doing very well, and again, I think it's because of all the weeds. It's being consumed by the mint and by all those weeds, and it's very hard for me to get back there. So I think once the cleome is done, I will pull that out, so that'll give me more room. And I think I'm also going to get rid of these two blue witch's hat. This is what they look like all summer. They bloom a little bit during the spring. I don't know if maybe in winter. This is my first time with them, but I didn't expect them to be this big, honestly, either. I got cuttings from this from a garden friend, which I haven't met ever. It was actually referred from another garden friend. So I have lots of seeds, so I think I might just take these out and maybe even replant them somewhere else where they will have a bit more space, so I can get back here and so Bathsheba can get more sun. Over here I have a red chocolate loropetalum, and I have one on this side as well. I love the color of the foliage right there. And then on this side of the arch we have the Impressionist growing. Beautiful, like apricot pink blooms. Reminds me of the sunset. And then this is Cathedral Bells, right up there, which gets very tall. Grows, I would even say I could probably grow it as a climber sometimes. It gets very tall. And then I put two sunflower seeds, one here and one here. I hope they do well because of the rain and everything, but I'm hoping to have some blooms, possibly maybe like November maybe. This is Coco Loco. It does a lot better during the spring. Most of my roses go semi-dormant, and the blooms obviously are going to be much smaller during the summer. On both of these sides, I planted an HS date dahlia, which I love. I'll post a picture of what they're supposed to look like. I planted them about 2 weeks ago, and then came all the rain, so as you can see, they're not doing very well. I think I'm going to cut this piece off, and same with this piece. I might just cut it off. I'm going to leave it there for a little bit to see what's happening. I have new growth coming out of that down here, so I might just cut right here and let the new growth take over. If I see that they're still struggling though, I may take them out and just pot them up. In Florida, we can grow dahlias, well in Central Florida specifically, we can grow dahlias in February and September, with February I would say being the best month to grow them. This is a old bloom from True Inspiration. I think that's just burnt from the sun. And then I have Colette growing over here. Colette replaced the Jenner's Gardner, which was, it was huge, but Jenner's Gardner is extremely black spot prone for me. And the blooms, although beautiful in spring, weren't as many in summer, and if she did bloom, they would shatter like almost instantly every single time it rained. So it wasn't worth it for me with all the black spot. I have two red fountain grasses on either side here. I think I'm gonna replace those also. I used to have pots and would do like annual plants, and I think I like that better. These may go on the side of my house instead. Then over here, I have a sweet drift rose here. See, all my roses are kind of not in bloom right now, so it's a bummer. And then I have a dahlia here. I don't know why my dahlias did not do well this year. Look at this. So I need to stake that. I thought that support would be enough, but obviously it's too short. So it has some buds, but I don't know, they just didn't do as well as prior years, so I'm not sure what happened there. I have a Abraham Darby rose in there somewhere. The butterfly pea reseeded from last year. This is what was growing against this trellis last year. And I guess the seed fell this way and it came towards this obelisk that I have here. So, see, this is what happens. The little bees go in there and they look so cute. The little bums sticking out. So butterfly pea is right there, and then I have some zinnias that I planted later on, so those look a little healthier. Lantana, always great in the summer. I have 3 of those in this section. So I have one here, and I have 2 more down there, which I'll show you in a bit. Another zinnia. I don't remember the variety name. Celostia, which is another one that does great in the heats. This is Sweet Mademoiselle. As you can see, the foliage is not looking great, but that's okay. Like I said, come September, I'll cut them all down by 1/3, defoliate, and we start over. And then I start fertilizing them again. Kind of take the month of August. Sometimes I take the month of July off too with fertilizer. Just so much rain it gets washed out. Another zinnia. And then over here I have a plumbago, I'm not sure how you say it. On this side I have James Galway growing up this way. In the spring, oh my goodness, it looks gorgeous. Summer it does okay. It blooms occasionally. True Inspiration here. Plum Perfect here. Belinda's Dream there. And then we'll get to that part in a second. Let me turn back around over here. This is my other lantana. Then I have Coreopsis. This lantana is growing much quicker than the other ones, and I think it just might be because it gets probably more sun. I have another James Galway here that's a little out of control. And then I have these potted roses aren't staying here. I just have them here because it was raining and I wanted them to get some water. And then these zinnias I'm going to probably pull out soon. As you can see, they're all full of spots. But the blooms are still so pretty, and the butterflies love them, so it's very hard for me to pull zinnias out because of the butterflies. And in there somewhere is Love Song, which I think is over there. And then not Belinda's Dream. This is Olivia Rose. Yeah, it's not looking too great. I had a African blue basil growing right over here, and it completely took over, and I think that's what happened. Then I had a tomato in the raised bed back here where the marigolds are, and so it was shaded and from the tomato and from the African blue basil, so it's recovering slowly. See that those reddish leaves, those are new growth, so it's recovering. I'm hoping it does well. And then over here I have another plumbago. I have mulligrass on both sides, and just a couple of pentas over here. This side was very hard for me, always. I'm hoping this is the last time I have to plant stuff in here, because I had multiple roses, tried with multiple roses, but this spot gets afternoon sun, I would say from about 1:30. But then in the summer, because it starts raining around 4 or 5, the plant stays wet the whole night. Doesn't really get to dry up. It doesn't really get as much sun as the others. So I think just that combination doesn't help. So I'm gonna try these. These are all either Florida friendly or Florida natives. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll be a better choice for this section. But I think that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully September everything will start looking a lot better, and then by October, November, things should look a lot better. But I hope you all have a great, oh, I just wanted to mention this. This is a bunch of celosia that reseeded. You know, if I tried to plant those seeds, I bet you they wouldn't look like this. But for some reason, when they reseed themselves, they look great. So I can't wait to see all the blooms on this one. All right, I hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you guys soon.